He laughed when I told him she was dead. That sound, rich, careless, like it came from someone who'd never bled, still echoes inside my skull. His father's penthouse office was all glass and marble, sunlight slicing across his expensive suit. Mine still carried her blood. He didn't even flinch when I said her name, my daughter. 10 years old, bones shattered on a crosswalk by his imported car. "I'm sorry for your loss," he said, smirking. "But accidents happen. Sue me. I have 50 lawyers." I remember staring at him, not as a man, but as a countdown. "You have 15 minutes," I said quietly, "to surrender him, or you'll lose everything." He scoffed, waved me off like I was a stain on his cuff. Security escorted me out. I didn't resist. But when his phone rang 13 minutes later and I watched him answer with trembling hands from the lobby below, I knew he finally understood. That day, I buried two things: my daughter and the person I used to be. I'd spent years building things for people like him. Systems, networks, invisible power in the form of information. I'd been paid to protect reputations, hide mistakes, scrub secrets. Now, I would turn every weapon I built against the kind of man who laughed at a child's death. Grief has a temperature: cold, sharp. It freezes you just long enough to think clearly. While he celebrated another untouched verdict, I sat alone in her room, touching her drawings on the wall, her handwriting, her small, uneven letters. Then I opened my laptop. His company's servers, his private accounts, his family's offshore files. All the rut they thought was buried under layers of privilege, I'd mapped every inch of it years ago. I had been the one they trusted to keep it clean. They'd forgotten that digital ghosts never really die. So I didn't plan revenge. I activated it. The first message went to the board, anonymous, encrypted, a taste. A single file about embezzled funds and falsified reports. Enough to make them panic, not destroy. Then the whispers started. Stock drops, shareholders calling emergency meetings. His father's empire began to tilt, quietly, slowly. I never raised my voice, never sent a threat. Just timing, precision, patience. Every night I replayed her final moments in my head. Her backpack torn open, the driver not stopping, his laughter later that same night on social media. That image fed me when the exhaustion hit. People think vengeance is chaos. It isn't. It's order. It's symmetry. Each secret I released was a reflection of the one they buried. Each revelation, a mirror turned back toward them. By the 10th minute of that 15, I had already erased their backups, copied their servers, and triggered the fail-safes. By the 12th, their financial system was collapsing inward. At 13, the call came. The board member's voice shook through the phone. "Please, whatever you're doing, stop it. He'll turn himself in. Just stop." I looked at the clock. 2 minutes left. "You had 15, I said. I hung up. I watched from across the street as the billionaire stumbled out of his office, his face gray, his phone dead. He looked smaller then, like a man stripped of noise and money. A father, maybe, one who suddenly remembered what loss feels like. He fell to his knees on the pavement. The crowd stared, but no one helped. I stood at the edge, invisible, exactly where I wanted to be. 2 days later, they offered me everything: settlements, silence, mercy. But I wasn't after money. I sent them one final file instead: photos of my daughter, the last smile before the accident. The subject line read, "This is what your legacy looks like." Then I released everything: emails, offshore accounts, recordings, falsified audits. By dawn, their empire was in flames. By noon, the son was in custody. By nightfall, the father disappeared from public life. No shouting, no satisfaction, just an ending. Sometimes vengeance isn't about rage, it's about equilibrium. It's been a year. I visit her grave every Sunday, not to talk, not to cry, just to listen to the silence. I imagine she would have liked to see how calm I was through it all, how I never broke. She used to say I was too serious, too cold. Maybe she was right. But when I see the headlines, how they lost everything, how their names are whispered like curses, I feel nothing. Not triumph, not regret, just stillness. They thought their power made them untouchable. They were wrong. Justice doesn't always come with a badge or a robe. Sometimes it comes in the shape of a quiet man with nothing left to lose and 15 minutes to give. I didn't destroy them out of hatred. I did it because I finally understood grief is the most patient kind of weapon.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.